Welcome back to Black Girls Read, and so this video is going to be in response to all the Twitter idiots, all the Twitter Nashidiots, I should say, who blindly follow Tariq Nasheed, no matter what evidence you provide them. I'm not, quite frankly, I don't even care, like, whatever. Just don't bother me. And stay away from me, stay away from our children, with all that hate rhetoric, with all the division rhetoric. Just stay away. Like, but the real reason that I'm doing this here is because we have so many people on Twitter coming at me because Tariq wrote a book, The Art of Macking. And in his book, I mean, it is what it is, but you can't claim to be a certain kind of person for the people, you know, and then don't provide positive solutions to our children, and instead what you provide and then deny it when I asked him about it, because I asked him about it, and if you guys want to see that, I'll share that with you, where I asked him about it. And before I even got the question out the second time, before I got the question out, because I asked him on two separate lives, and on the first live, he just didn't let me talk anymore. He called me a liar. He called me a tether. He told me I fled from my homeland where the girls are being circumcised. Yeah, but I was born here in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, so were my parents. Um, but that's irrelevant. What is relevant is that he wrote uh, uh, a whole book, and within this book, he says that when you look at middle school and high school girls, you can tell which ones are going to be which ones are the potential whores. First of all, why are you looking at them? But, it is what it is. Why are you looking at them in that way? Because they're there. So girls, they're there, they wear certain clothes, but you blame it on the family and you take advantage that they were damaged by their family, and you call the pimp at least will be able to guide them in their unfortunate situation. I don't understand. So when I needed some clarity, like, I wanted to know why you wrote something like this in the book, and all he did was just deny it and call me all kinds of tethers or whatever. So of course I provided proof for people who, for whatever reason, want to say that I'm attacking Tariq or whatever. I don't even give a fuck about Tariq. Tariq is a fraud. Everybody knows it, except for those spellbound individuals who have no sense of self. They had no sense of who historically they were, and how, yeah, we do have a different culture here in America. Yeah. The conditions here are different. The political conditions, the economic conditions, all the conditions here are different from other countries where we have also people of African descent. This whole divisionist thing, and if you guys don't get that it's a plot, because the more we are divided, the better it is for quote unquote white supremacy, which is just colonization, those colonizers who still want to maintain the control, and they use their neo-colonizing minions in blackface to do that, to cause the division so they can continue their problem. He's okay. He's living in his little gated community to, amongst white people. If I think there may be 7% African American, if they're African American, because they may be, according to Tariq, tethers. But I don't want to keep on babbling. The reason why this hits close to home is because, as part of as a teacher and a mother, um, of middle school girls and boys, middle school students in our communities. Remember, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, East New York, Brownsville, Crown Heights, East Flatbush, those areas. And as a teacher, I had all those children, all those children, all those children. Okay, now would I guide them to the pimp? What the hell is that? You have injured children, you have traumatized children, you have abused children. And okay, yeah, if they were abused at home, so you take advantage of that and say it's okay for these girls to have their bodies exploited, right? But like I said, part of my graduate degree, because I've experienced young girls who have been abused, in middle school, which I want to say those girls in middle school are anywhere between 11 and 14. Okay, so you're looking at middle school girls 11 to 14, and you're looking at them being potential whores, but you're not looking at it as, well, my goodness, what is going on there in their home? How could we at least try to save them? Like, anyway. So I developed a whole, as part of my thesis for graduate, I created a whole curriculum for colored girls. And it was based off of Ntozake, and God rest her soul. May she be elevated and uplifted in the ancestral world. And I was today years old when I found out that she transitioned as I was doing some research. And that kind of hit, hit my little heart because um, her work made an extremely significant difference in the lives of these girls who I created this program for. Um, and this is and then you got these, I don't want to keep going back to the Twitter foolishness, but these people on Twitter don't know who you are. They don't know what you've gone through, what you do for the community. They just sit up on Twitter and talk a whole bunch of crap, but the real deal is that if we're not educating our children and we're taking advantage of our children, how does that make you any better than the colonizer? How does that make you any better than the colonizer when you are using the trauma of our children to exploit them? I'm trying to find the other book that Ntozake wrote that I also used in my program, but there were a lot of books that I used in my program. I have a whole closet full of books for young people. Here it is. And yeah, so the one of the other books that I used. Oh, and I do have Some Sing and Some Cry. I have a lot of her books. As a matter of fact, I probably have about 5 of her books.